How's everyone doing today?
Amazing.
It is my absolute pleasure to be here today. It's nothing like being around powerful, productive, powerful women. Give yourselves a hand today. And of course, the person that puts all this together, second person puts all this together, God was the first thing, and Linda Clemens is right in line. Let's give Linda a big round of applause. As I mentioned today we're going to talk about money. That's all we talk about, creating wealth, successful businesses, and money. The things that the rich don't talk about at cocktail parties is what we're going to discuss today. And one promise I assure you, one thing for certain, two things for sure. What I'm going to talk to you about today, no one else is ever going to mention to you. So I'm glad I see all you ladies. Ladies are so organized. You got your notebooks, you got your diaries, because you want to get this down. Because no one's ever going to talk to these particular points today. So today's topic is secret keys to business success, wealth, and financial fulfillment. Secret keys. You know, when I think about that topic, it reminds me of the scenario when two wolves and a sheep have a discussion on what's for dinner. Now, we already know how that's going to turn out, right? It's not going to be too good for that poor sheep. But the scenario's main value and importance and significance has to do with asking the right questions. You know, during my over 30 years of talking to rich and wealthy individuals, that was really my secret sauce, ladies. I always cultivate a habit of having something worthwhile to say, and usually that looks a lot like a question. So you'll always want to ask the right questions. Now, some people think that asking questions is a sign of weakness, maybe that you're not that knowledgeable. I couldn't disagree with you anymore. Nothing could be further from the truth, and the same is true for creating wealth. So this afternoon, I'm going to share some observations about why the world's wealthiest people are so successful in achieving profitable businesses, wealth, and financial fulfillment. People like Oprah Winfrey, Magic Johnson, we all know that guy, Bill Gates, and I think most of you know Dr. George Fraser. How many people know Dr. George Fraser? A great man, empowerment legend. So if you want to achieve financial success like those people, today's the day, and I'm going to outline some principles and strategies how you could be more like them. But we're going to hold Larry. It's time to give some money away. Money giveaway number one. What do you think is the top reason these folks are so successful? And by the way, there are no wrong answers. They're just right answers and really right answers. Yes?
Commitment to routine.
Commitment.
Staying the course.
I can see just focused and like, you know, you got muscle in your hustle and you're focused. Okay, I got that. And by and large, those are the answers that you always get from Greenlight, the really right answers. So I like that answer. So why are they so successful? Let's take a couple more. Go with this side. Yes, ma'am.
Network.
Network is really defining factor in your net worth, but not quite what I'm looking for.
Building a team where their strengths, you know, your weaknesses, you find people who have those strengths.
Okay, one more. Yes.
Dr. Fraser said that when he was here, that it wasn't about working for the money. It was like giving of yourself, but it wasn't. The money will come.
Right.
If you have just money in mind, it's good, but not good.
No, you're right. You don't focus on the money. You usually focus on your passion, and then you marry your passion and profits, and that works. Those weren't the answers we're looking for, but these envelopes are going to go, ladies. They're like really weighing down my bag. We're going to go to the next slide, because I'm going to tell you what the top reason they're so successful. Well, the top reason, which is key secret number one, is the only difference between you and the people you admire, imitate, or maybe even envy. Financially, is their mindset. Say mindset.
Mindset.
Perspective. Say perspective.
Perspective.
And relationship with money. Say relationship with money.
Relationship with money.
Ladies, that's the only difference between you and Oprah Winfrey. That's the only difference between you and Magic Johnson and Bill Gates. They have the people we just mentioned and the wealthy elite, they have a much more enlightened mindset. They just think differently, out of the box. They got a broader and more expansive perspective and an immeasurably more productive relationship with money. That is it. Once you develop that mindset, perspective, and relationship with money, as the lady here said, what's going to happen? Money will come. Not only will it come, the money will be waiting for you. Think of the mental word picture where you're home on a Saturday, your husband or your spouse or significant others away, and you're just relaxing at home, having a little tea, maybe you got some jazz music playing or some classical music, right? And then your peace is disturbed by an abrupt knock at the door. Boom, 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 boom. I said, I'm not expecting anyone. I'm not having any deliveries coming. Who is this? Maybe the wrong address, right? So you continue to watch your show and the knocking continues. Boom, boom, but now it's knocking and kicking. Boom, 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 kick, kick. And you still got to go to the door. So you go to the door. You can't even get to the door before the doorbell starts ringing. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. So you think this is either some really annoying salesperson or maybe the police. You open the door and there she is. Who are you? And she says, I'm your money. As your eyes begin to widen, you see your whole front lawn is littered with her and her friends. And you say, why are you here? And she said, well, we're here to hang out and party like rock stars at your house tonight. But don't worry, we won't be long because we're leaving early in the morning. Why are you leaving so early in the morning? Because we're going to work for you tomorrow. That's what your money's supposed to do. You're not supposed to work for your money, ladies. Your money's supposed to work for you. So that's the only difference. Let's go to the next one, Larry. So within your mindset, there are other aspects, 3 key aspects that are going to control your mindset, ladies. Now, I got another money giveaway when we get it, but how many of you believe, and you could indicate by show of hands, that work ethic is the most important aspect of your mindset? Anybody agree with my? Now, people will tell you my work ethic is legendary. I will just outwork you. You know, what about integrity? It's important, right? But you think it's the most important aspect of your mindset? Show of hands. No. What about intellect? You know, for you smart, intelligent, powerful women in the room, which is all of you, what about intellect? What about authenticity? What if you're authentic? What about that? No? So, money giveaway number 2. What do you think is the most important aspect of your mindset? Yes, that lady Beth.
Faith and belief that you can do it is that can-do sort of belief. Like your mindset is, I'm going to do it, I'm going for it, I can do it. Because if you think you can't do it, it's not going to happen.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I'm going to hold off on you for a second. Let me go over here. I'm just going to keep going back and forth. Who had their hand up?
Access to the knowledge and the ideas or the support what your goal is.
Absolutely.
Access, just having the access.
Okay, access is very important. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Not being afraid to receive the money.
Oh boy. You know, a lot of us are fearful of failure. And some of us are afraid of what? Success. So I definitely agree with that. Wasn't quite the answer. One more?
Connecting the dots. Like, you know what you want, you find out the people that can give it to you and how you need to go about it. Connecting all of those dots.
Okay. All finances, ladies. But the really right answer goes to the lady in the back. Let's go to the next slide, Larry. The most important aspect of your money game is your belief system. Your money belief system, your belief system about money. What you believe, why you believe it, and ladies, what you're prepared to do about what you believe. We all know the good book says faith without works is? Dead. Is it dead? It's dead, right? Got to do something. Let's go to the next slide. So there are 3 aspects of your mindset about money that you always should consider. We already covered what do you believe. Number 2 is what do you fear? Are you afraid of success? We just mentioned that. Are you afraid of failure? Are you afraid of rejection? Those are the three basic fears. How many people, now I'll raise my hand when appropriate, how many people were or are afraid of success? I was afraid of success, ladies, believe it or not. How about failure? Anybody? And what about rejection? Okay, I mean, these are all basic human emotions. You're going to overcome these things if you have them. Last but not least, in terms of a major mindset about money, what do you love? What do you hate? Or what do you have passion for? These things are going to propel you forward and your mindset, or they're going to hinder you and be an obstacle. Now, you go on to the next one, Larry. It's been said, men lie, women lie, but facts, figures, and results never lie. So let me share some facts with you. You mean it's not about being rich? I mean, you got a lot of people with a lot of money. Are they wealthy? Are they wealthy? Floyd Money Mayweather, you know, the great boxer, he gets over 100, 150, $200 million a fight. Would definitely be considered a very rich man, but is he wealthy? How many have seen the faces and names of the rich on the front cover of newspapers, right? Where they owe taxes. Their stuff is being repossessed. Their house is being foreclosed on. There is a dramatic difference and distinction between those who have a rich mindset and those who have a wealthy mindset. And one thing that you'll be especially encouraged about, creating wealth has little to nothing, say nothing, to do with money. Little to nothing to do with money. How much you have, how much you make, little to nothing to do with that. It has to do with what? Your mindset, perspective, and relationship with that money you're about to create. Let me give you some facts. The average NBA basketball player makes about $5.15 million per year. That's not these guys. That's not LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant. We put George Frazier up there. George seems to defy time. I see he has a time travel machine all the time. But these are guys who are starters. When you get guys that are coming off the bench or specialty guys, they're making at least that, $5.15 million. Here's another sad fact. Over 70% of them will be broke, ladies, before their short careers end. And you know you don't see no 45-year-old or 40-year-old basketball players. So that means they play for a relatively short amount of time, from usually their late teens or early 20s, usually early 20s, to maybe 35, maybe 36, 38. And then it's over. And they made all that money. And they don't have a dime to show for it. Sad. Let's continue on. What about lottery winners? What about people who come into large amounts of inheritance? Larry, we'll go on to the next one. What about movie stars and other celebrities? Isn't it a cliche? You see someone hit the lottery or come into a settlement, what happens to them a few years later? They're broke. It's not a wealth mindset. They have the wrong mindset, perspective, and relationship with money. And don't think, by the way, we have a lot of pro athletes, we got a lot of celebrities and people you would recognize quickly. Don't think that they're running to the mall, burning down some mall. I mean, don't think you hear fire engines every time they go to shop. A lot of them are quite frugal, but that also is not the right answer when you want to create wealth. That's just hunkering down and kind of a race to the bottom. You're just waiting for the end to come, right? You're just delaying the inevitable, right? Now, how can you avoid this train wreck? Well, one of the things that I'll leave with you on this first key secret is that people who know how usually end up working for or making less money than people who know why. Yes. So you want to be a why guy, say why guy. Why guy. Or obviously in this room, a why gal, say why gal. Why gal. Give yourself a hand of applause. We're going to give away some more money. All right. Give me a name. I only need one of the top 10 richest people on the planet. Okay, who said that? Okay, very rich man. for a long time, perennially. Him and Bill Gates, now Bezos from Amazon, trade places, but that's not exactly who I was looking for. Who else? Carlos Slim made a fortune in telecom and other technology-related companies, but I wasn't thinking of Carlos. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah, a very powerful woman and a billionaire, but she's not quite as rich as the first two mentioned, right? So her, let's go over here. Harris.
I don't know his name, but the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
Ooh, she's talking about that sovereign money, y'all. Woo-hoo, sovereign money. That sovereign money is long, right? But the people I'm talking about are trillionaires. The people I'm talking...
We going to the G20. That's where we headed. Okay.
I'll take two more. Any two? Any two?
Is Betsy DeVos in that universe? The DeVos family?
They're very rich too.
Are they in the trillionaires yet?
No, they're not quite in the trillions. Let's go to the next slide. I'm going to give the Waltons all things. Let me tell you about a group of people that you pass every day, but you have never met. Let me tell you about a group of people whose fortune is in the trillions and they can't speak. One of the first things the rich taught me, and it's our secret key number 2, is that there are 2 types of people on the planet. Very important, these secret keys. You have living people. Y'all all very lively and breathing and beautiful and well-dressed humans. They control, but they do not possess assets. They don't own anything in the world of the wealthy. One matter of fact, the worst thing to do, and usually I say it for shock value at some of the places I go speak, I usually say something like, if you're managing your financial affairs as a human being, you'll never make it. And people are like, what? I'm human. How in the world am I going to manage my affairs any differently? Now you'll learn why. So you got humans, living people, and then you have legal people. And when I say legal people, I'm talking about the group of artificial people that includes trusts, estates, corporations, and LLCs, and of course there are various flavors and derivatives. Those are all people, ladies. Those are all people. They're very much a person legally as you are. They have all the protections, privileges, and benefits under the Constitution of the United States, just like each of you. They are righted, protected, and privileged under the laws of the great state of Indiana and New York and Florida and wherever you live or play or work, just like each of us. They can own assets like you can own. They can own homes. They can have their own cars registered in their name. You just might be an operator driving the thing, but that's not your car. Many of the people that have come to know about Greenlight know we're business, money, and wealth coaches, right? So we drive BMWs. You know, little mini fleet of about 7 cars, all Alpine white. So all those cars, every one of them is not in a human's name. They're all Greenlight cars. You look at the registration, my X5 M Sport, I could show you afterward. You look at that registration, that's not my car. Nobody might touch the car, but that's not my car, ladies. So God forbid something goes wrong with that car, Greenlight's got to pay for it. God forbid it gets some parking tickets, Greenlight's got to pay for it and take care of it. And if you have any issues, God forbid you get in a car accident, somebody gets injured. Can they sue me?
No, they sue the corporation.
Sue the corporation, the registrant of that car. Okay? And all of those cars, by the way, are leased. So I see some strange looks. They're leased. Why would you want to own a depreciating asset? That was a $95,000 SUV. It's up for renewal this year. We're going to get the X7 to replace it. Why would I want to own that? I want to enjoy it. I want to ride around. I want to enjoy the panoramic moon roof and all the amenities and air conditioning blowing out of the seats. I don't want to own that, because as soon as we drove it off the lot, it depreciated. Why own it? You want to control it. Control is always better than ownership. Always better. Matter of fact, this envelope, and this isn't one of my money giveaways, it's going to be a money giveaway. Tell me the name of the person who said, own nothing but control everything. No, not Rothschild. Rockefeller it is. The right answer. Now, you're quite welcome. Now you know why that makes sense, ladies. The artificial people, the legal people owned all of this stuff, all these assets and houses and yachts and airplanes and money. Because when you have an estate, a trust, a corporation, or LLC with money in its account, that's the corporation or the trust's money. Do you realize that you are not the customer of the bank? So they could not find you if they were looking for your money. We'll talk a little bit about that more. When the rich get sued, what happens? Absolutely nothing. Nothing happens because they don't own a thing. They don't have any money. They don't have any homes. They don't have any cars. They don't have any yachts, airplanes, or other things. They own nothing but control everything. Now you know how. They control it through these legal people. So the legal people are just like you. They have all the advantages. They have all the benefits. They have all the privileges. They have all the protections. One little caveat, ladies. As it relates to money. Say, as it relates to money.
As it relates to money.
They run circles around us. See, when you want to get your money game on and you want to maximize your money performances, you don't want to be human for that. You want these folks to be your proxies and do it for you and do it through them. As it relates to money, they run circles around us, including paying the minimum legal tax, which could be zero, y'all.
Come on.
You can legally pay taxes at a zero level, meaning you paid nothing. Then we just see a guy get into the White House who did that trick.
That's right. Yeah.
And he was so audacious, he bragged about it in front of hundreds of millions of people during the debates, right? You all saw it.
Yes, he did.
You guys go to my YouTube channel, which is just Dr. Terrence Cash. You will see 8 months before an interview with me in Florida at the Citrus Club, which is like a sister membership club like this one. And you hear me talking about Don Trump, which I bet in 06, hadn't paid taxes in since 20 years, the last 20 years. I didn't say it after he said it. I said it before he said it. So that's when you know I know what I'm talking about. He hasn't paid taxes. And don't worry about it. He will never bring his tax returns. You know why? There are no tax returns. What tax returns? You only have to file income tax returns if you have income. Y'all are so smart. Let's go on, Barry. So we're talking about wealth, and of course, as you start to create wealth, you want to buy assets, and to buy assets, you have to have an asset called cash, money, currency, right? So we're going to quickly go through the 5 major money rules. So I call it the money rule of 5. So ladies, there are 5 ways to make money. Now, you know these apply more to your artificial BFFs than to you moving forward. Yeah. You can earn it, you can borrow it, you can save it, you can inherit it, or you can steal it. So earn, borrow, save, inherit, or steal. Let's go to the next one. We are not advocating stealing.
No.
The way some rich people got rich, you would think that that's, the way to go. So we're not talking about stealing, so obviously just don't do it. Let's go to the next one. Inheriting money. Now, inheriting is nice. I had 2 clients recently go from a small fortune, 2 young men, 27 and 31, just inherited a small fortune. Their mom called me. Dr. Cash, my boys need your help. Their grandmother on their father's side just left them a small fortune. When they got that money, which they didn't get the money, one of the first things I told those 2 young men, you're not going to get the money, so don't worry about it. There's not going to be any major tax consequences. And then they just like there was a little delay. They said, did you just say, I'm not getting my money? I said, that's exactly correct, young man. You're going to talk to your lawyer. It's in the trust lawyer, right? Yep, okay. Tell them you have a nominee, which is code for artificial person who received the money on your behalf. We're going to get you set up, and the money's going to that. Okay. And as soon as they went back to the lawyers, they said, who's been coaching you? they knew right away that they had talked to somebody. I only remember 2 lottery winners that when they got the check and they show that big check and they take a picture in front of it, I only remember 2 lottery winners that didn't have their names on that check. The 3 hedge fund guys from Connecticut when they won $85 million, and it was an African-American gentleman who had a trust on that thing. I said, you go, my brother. You talk to somebody, okay? And you can always tell when people are getting the really right coaching and advice. The only problem with inheriting it, it's a crapshoot. Let's look at it. First, you gotta be part of the lucky sperm pool, right? That's the first thing. Number 2, you gotta be the family favorite. So if you happen to be the one not invited to Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas, that's probably not you. And as if those 2 weren't bad enough, somebody's got to die, right? Somebody's got to die for you to get an inheritance. Or as my Jamaican friends say, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody want dead, right? So let's go to the next one. What about savings? My mother was a tremendous saver and became a millionaire in her late 70s. You know, who thinks savings is the best way to, earn your money? Well, it works, but there's a pregnant pause, right? But it takes too long. And it involves scrimping and sacrificing for extended periods of time and going that way because you're only collecting the excess cash out of what you don't spend, right? So it's not a lot of money compared to your total income or cash flows. So usually people who try to go this route end up becoming rich in their 70s, 80s, or 90s just to die in time to give it to their kids. Nothing wrong with getting kids. Matter of fact, as you guys know, Greenlight is a major proponent along with behind Dr. Frazier's initiative about intergenerational wealth. But the first thing is you have to create wealth, right? You can't give your kids something you don't possess. So, but we want you to enjoy your time on this beautiful, round, blue planet. So we don't just want you to scrimp and save and sacrifice and then you cross the line and you die bequeathing it to your kids. We want you to enjoy yourself, have some great vacations, buy some nice stuff. Who cares if you need it? Sometimes it's just about you want it. We're not on this planet. I really believe that God put us on this planet to relate and connect, but also to prosper. We are each other's blessings, right? If you don't believe me, the next blessing you get, I would take that call. You just tell me God dematerialized out of his dimension to give it to you. Who'd you get it from? Another human, right? All your blessings come from humans. You want to enjoy this life as well as the run up to retirement and beyond. By the way, the rich don't save money, they accumulate cash. Let's go to the next one, Larry. You can borrow it, and the rich do that all the time. They call it leverage, and it just means borrowing to invest. If you borrow money, let's say $1 million at 10% interest, right? That's not the lowest interest. It's not credit card, it's not the lowest, but you are buying or investing in something that's going to put out 100%. Is that a great deal? Yes. Absolutely. Cost of money is 10%. You're getting a return on your investment of 100. That's a 90% difference. I'd take that every day, and often do. So definitely you want to borrow it if you don't have it. But let's go to the last one, Larry. Number one way is to earn it. But earn it how? And we're just going to go through. We're going to speed through some of these things. Now, I know you ladies see the striking resemblance between this gentleman's physique and mine.
Yes.
And who said that? Okay, Harris. And somebody I know too, you gotta congratulate and promote audacity, ladies. So let's give Harris a big. Because to be successful entrepreneurs of any age, you can be a successful entrepreneur when you're 100 years old, 90 years old, 80 years old. It's never too late. And we really mean that when we tell people that. We've gotten people, if it is your desire, key distinction, to become a multimillionaire. It doesn't take more than a year when you know what you're doing. When I struggled through my tech business, some of you heard the the sizzle reel, I had a tech company 25 plus years ago. For the first 5 years or so, it languished, ladies, it languished. I was rationing out gas. I had 1 meal a day. But again, it was my passion, so it wasn't the miserable existence you might think when you're in that kind of financial shape. As I started meeting successful entrepreneurs, as I started meeting rich and wealthy elite individuals, they gave me little crumbs and tips and bits of insight. And I noticed that business started bouncing up and up and up and up. Fast forward 16 years later, that business was doing over $32 million in annual revenues. And a couple years later, I cashed out for 8 figures. Retired. Thank you. So I retired for about 4 years, but then I got bored, and then I got fat too. You know, I'm still working that off, ladies. But when I did look like that, one thing I probably couldn't pull off is a handstand with just one hand. And so getting back to the number way of earning your money, there is only one way most likely. Say one way most likely.
One way most likely.
Not 2, not 5, not 10, not 100, ladies. Only one way most likely to create wealth for you. And that's your own profitable, successful, and sustainable business. How many entrepreneurs in the room? Give it up for yourself, entrepreneurs. Let's go to the next slide, Larry. Because I want to answer some questions directly, if we can. And so the third key, and so here we are. We know that you can only create wealth, most likely to create wealth. You're not normally going to have an inheritance or inheritance that large where you're just incredibly rich, right? And again, somebody's got to die. You create a business, and most of the people that you saw, if not all of the people you saw in the first couple of slides, made their money how? Through a successful business. Oprah, Bill Gates through Microsoft, Warren Buffett through Berkshire Hathaway. Then when you're making that money in that business, you're going to have profits, right? Profits is the money left over after you sell whatever you're going to sell. When you sell something, that money has a special name. Anyway, anyone know what the name of the money is? The name of the money is that when you sell something, what's that called? No, not just quite.
Revenue.
Revenue. Who said revenue? Oh my goodness. You're going to let her take all the money today. There are different types of money, ladies. You'll see at Greenlight, income, while it's a 5-letter word, it's a 4-letter word at Greenlight. We hate income. Why do you think we hate income so much?
Taxes.
Only income is taxable. Say that. Only income is taxable. So if you get a different type of money that's not income, what does that mean? No taxes. That's how Donald Trump paid no taxes. He had no income. And now you see why you need these artificial people, because if you are working for someone or you're looking to do things, you want the money. As you'll find in this progression, you don't want the money. And you certainly don't want income. But if you're working a job, obviously you have to take it. And we have strategies and plans for people who are at work. And you can win at work with these philosophies. Most of the time, those people want to migrate to their own business. But income is taxable, and only income is taxable. Now, cash flows, I love that word.
Yes.
You know, revenues and investments. Oh, I love those words. Income, not so much. Okay? Let's go to the third secret, Larry. So we know and have heard today, the only thing that separates you from the people you admire or maybe envy financially is their mindset, perspective, and relationship with money. That's number one. Number two, we know there are 2 different types of people on the planet, and now you just have a little inkling of who they are and maybe how to do a few things with them. We will show you how to do everything with them, especially and including running your life as a business.
Yeah.
You'll find out in this talk right here that there's a special business that the rich have that represents their life and lifestyle. And you're able to write off upgrades to your wardrobe.
Amen to that.
You're able to write off fabulous business trips that the untrained eye might confuse for vacation. Got to be politically correct, right?
Yes.
We had a client, two clients, a couple, beautiful Hispanic couple, 27 years old, right off their $33,000 destination wedding in Mexico just 2 years ago. Not only did they do that, the $33,000 they had scrimped and saved, we told them, one of the first things I told them is, it's wonderful you're getting married, all that, we can help you, but Dr. Cash, we're getting married. And this was a tough assignment. They were getting married in about a month and a half, 2 months tops. So they come to me and they said, we want to join, but we got this wedding and this money has been saved up over 7 years. They live with, I think, her family, and that's a difficult situation at best, right? I said, well, we can help you. You can help us. But we don't have any money to spare. That's all right, because you won't be spending a dime on the wedding if you listen to me. They said, what? I said, if you follow my advice, you shouldn't spend a dime of that $33,000 you saved up. Now they're really concerned, right? They think I'm anti-marriage. Oh, no, you're a lovely couple. By all means, get married. But don't spend the money that you saved up all this time for just one day. Then what are we going to do? I said, you're going to have to trust me. Because I couldn't do the whole coaching thing, on the introductory. You got to trust me. And ladies, ultimately, wealth creation comes down to a leap of faith. God has inspired each and every one of you to recognize what is truth. One thing I've never gotten in the 8 years we've been doing this at Greenlight and the previous 8 or 10 years that I was learning all of this stuff, I've never had somebody say, oh, that's wrong, that's false. People know truth. There are things that are true, and then there is truth. This is truth, as explained and given to me firsthand by thousands of rich and wealthy people. So that business, that secondary business that we're going to now back into, is called the new lifestyle business. So there's two types of businesses. You've never seen a new lifestyle business, so don't worry about what it looks like. You haven't seen it. The two types of business are primary business. Primary businesses are all the businesses in the room. It's Greenlight, it's this place, it's McDonald's, it's Walmart. It's just an obvious published business. It's got a website, it's got a phone number, it's got staff, got an office. So that's your primary business, hopefully is generating revenue, right? That's a primary business. Secondary business, those are the businesses the rich don't talk about at cocktail parties. They are special purpose secondary businesses that maximize the money that the entrepreneur and or the wealthy get from every other source, including their primary business. And we have taken the principles from the rich and made our own construct. The rich have them. They don't have this name for them. We call it a new lifestyle business. Imagine you and your mate and your immediate family, whoever lives in your house and that you're close to, and we take your interests, your life and lifestyle, and we translate it into this special purpose secondary business. Now you can do all this stuff through that business. We call it running your life as a business. So everything you can think of, the breakfast sandwich you buy in the morning, girls' night out, it's Thursday, first round of drinks is on you, you write that off. You write off literally your entire life. Now some of you may say, wow, can I do that? Is that legal? Hush tones. I will ask you to Google Russian billionaire and Bruno Mars. That's your search terms. Russian billionaire and Bruno Mars. You will read about Russian billionaire Len Blavatnik, always had trouble with these Russian names, and you'll see he had a multi-million-dollar birthday party for his 13-year-old daughter. He's a Russian Jew. This was her bat mitzvah, and he had hundreds of people come out. Bruno Mars came out, sung 6 songs. He got $1.2 million right there. And then they had quite an evening. So at the end of the day, the impressive part is not that he paid for this party, right? I did say billionaire. The most impressive things, lady, is he wrote the whole thing off. And until I started mentioning this reference about 5 years ago, the LLC name that paid for this whole thing, this LLC came out of nowhere. So just put this in your mind as a mental word picture. Russian billionaire, petroleum magnate. So obviously his primary business is in petroleum. Petroleum company didn't pay for the party. Not appropriate for the petroleum company to pay for the party, and certainly not appropriate for the petroleum company to write it off. So it didn't pay for it, didn't write it off. Some little sleepy LLC came out of the darkness, paid the entire bill, and went back into the darkness. That's what we call, at Greenlight, a new lifestyle business. They are hidden. They are narrowly to not published at all, except to closest friends and family and associates, but they are the key to personal wealth creation. How are you going to create wealth if you can't get ahead of this thing? If your local tax authority is taking 10, 12, 8, 7, 15%, and then your uncle who says it's a tax cut, it's not a tax cut, ladies. It's a mirage. I'll give you one little clue on this new reform tax plan. So the rates have gone down, but now they don't allow you to write off your local state taxes. What's the biggest write-off you got? Your local state taxes, right? So yeah, they reduced the rate only to, they gave with one hand and they took it back with another. So they're playing games. Our clients, even at work, entrepreneurs, you're at the next level. You could possibly pay the minimum legal tax of 0. Notice why we put it, minimum legal tax. We don't say, oh, you don't have to pay taxes, because that's not the right way. And I don't want anybody to misquote me. Dr. Cash said we didn't have to pay taxes. No, he didn't. You'd be misquoting me. Dr. Cash said you can pay the minimum legal tax, and you're only obligated, ladies, to pay the minimum legal tax. You're not going to be any more patriotic. Trust me, you are no more of a threat of an audit. We have 5,300 clients all around the country. We've had thousands of clients. Those are the ones which are active. We've had tens of thousands of clients over the last 8 years. How many of them got audited? None. Not one. Not one audit. Because we keep you away from the key things that trigger an audit. These principles, you don't have to know the IRC, the Internal Revenue Code. You use these principles and they'll think you're a tax account because of the way you are able to respond in terms of your money IQ. So these secondary business, let's go to the next slide, Larry. A new lifestyle business. Again, Greenlight's proprietary no personal gain. Say no personal gain.
No personal gain.
That's our success formula, ladies, and our wealth creation system. And it's basically the accumulated, congealed, and properly languaged wisdom of the wealthy. That's what it is. It's put in anecdotes and metaphors and principles and truths and secrets and keys and building blocks and in formats that you understand. And then you become the smartest person in the room about your money. And isn't that what we really all want? We want to be the smartest person in the room about my money. You want to know your money, every atom of your money. Through this, you will create, not may, you will create wealth. Now, depending on how far you want to go, you want to be a multimillionaire, you want to be a mega millionaire, you want to be a billionaire. Obviously, they're just milestones further down the line. You can be in a situation where you get mailbox money from your investments that equals your monthly expenses. That's what I call full financial freedom.
Yeah.
Because when your mailbox money is paying your bills, then you're obviously doing something, right? You're in your own business, you're working. So what happens to that money? You can bank it. You know, I don't use the word save. You can bank it and then reinvest it in your business. You can go to more investments, and then life really begins. We have dozens of clients, y'all, that through our chairman's fund that we started last year are getting mailbox at that money at that level. And none of them was rich. Some of them were retired, so you already know what's going on there. They're on a fixed income. And many of them were in their own business, and now they're getting mailbox money every 90 days. But the key is you're going to have your primary business and what? Secondary, right? The new lifestyle business. Let's go on now. So these are the 4 things that show up when you have a new lifestyle business. There are other benefits, but these are the main 4. It's created specifically for these things, ladies. Funds and finances, your personal life and lifestyle. We talked about that. Ladies' night out, wardrobe upgrade, shoe game upgrade. You know, those are separate. You know, I find that out from my fiance, Carla. Those are 2 separate things. There's shoes and there's everything else. So, you know, anything you can think of, you can fund through this new lifestyle business. 2, protects you and your personal assets from legal liabilities. Now look at that, ladies. You've worked hard for what you have. One of the most important things I tell clients right from the beginning, we have to protect you and your assets so you can keep what you already have. That's the first rule of wealth creation, to protect what you already have. You only have $20,000? Well, we're going to put and marshal all the forces in the universe to protect your $20,000. No sense talking about 200, 2 million, 20 million. Why? Because somebody will just take it from you. If you can't protect 20,000, how are you going to protect $200 million? I'm talking about tax authorities. Local, state, and federal. I'm talking about frivolous lawsuits, ladies. Every 2 or 3 years, I get sued. Last time I got sued, I was sued for $165 million. I was impressed. I was like, ooh, I'm at the 8 figures, not at the 9. It was actually a beef between 2 ladies who just happened to be clients. You had a pastor and her member. And so the beef was between the pastor and her member. So the member was the person initiating it, and she sued the pastor, and nothing happened. She sued the pastor and the church, like the church had something to do with it. Nothing happened. She sued the pastor, the church, and the pastor's husband, who had no role in it other than he was married to the pastor. Nothing happened. She said, well, I got to find somebody I can sue with some major money. Oh, yeah, Dr. Cash. So here comes the lawsuit. It didn't even make it to court. You know, and I find it humorous. I don't have any money, ladies. I said, we drive 6 cars. I don't have any of them. They're not my cars. I got 2 homes in New Jersey and Florida. They're not my residences, right? And on it goes. Millions of dollars in the bank. Not my money. You get it. You sue a rich person that's employing these principles, and what? Nothing happens. You want to be that person. So we want to protect what you got. Number 3, overhauls your investments so you realize better gains, yields, and upsides. And finally, we put it last. You guys always want to put it first, which I totally agree and understand. Gives you the opportunity, the permission to pay what?
Minimum legal tax.
Minimum legal tax, which could be, and for most of my entrepreneurs, full-time entrepreneurs in the room, will be 0. Okay? Don't worry about it, working folks. Your taxes are going to plummet 50 to 90%. That's the first coaching session, by the way. We call it the money call. You know, so if any of you guys become clients, you already got that secret. I get on that call, and it's a lot of energy, and I say, I got some money for you. And I don't mean, you know, Mexican pesos or Indian rupees. I got U.S. currency for you. They think it's a joke until we get to the last 10 minutes of the thing. My last call, money call, $28,000 cash. Now that gets prorated over each paycheck. See, this new lifestyle business for you working people injects a little thing called negative income. And negative income displaces and counteracts income, dollar for dollar. So let's say you make $100,000. If your new lifestyle business generates $80,000 of negative income, effectively, on a net basis, you only made 20 grand. Don't you pay less taxes at 20 grand than you do at 100?
You do.
See, now it makes sense to you. You can't say I only made 20 grand. They see your W-2, the state and the feds. But effectively, on a net basis, you only made 20 grand. And everybody knows somebody who makes 20 grand pays less taxes on the income. So this is very important for you working folks, too. Let's go on, Larry, because I'm going to try to get a couple questions. So at the end of the day, you guys have learned a few things. There are hundreds of principles and keys and secrets, and you will understand them because they are appropriately language where it is flawless and it is super clear and with much clarity. You need a coach. I am constantly, we were just, Larry and Carla and I were just out to Tony Robbins for 4 days. Tremendous situation, different kind of coach. But I'm constantly hiring and retaining top coaches. I got a financial markets coach right now into the 6 figures per year. And he's wonderful. I've had coaches that coach Tony Robbins. So coaches have coaches. So you always want, the biggest room in the universe is the room for self-improvement. And the rich invest in themselves first. Say first. First. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so we just sum up. And then I'm going to take some questions. And the only difference, so we covered 3 main secrets, right? Key secrets. Number 1, the only difference between you and the wealthy elite is their mindset, perspective, and relationship with money. Number 2, there are 2 types of people on the planet, and they are trillionaires and not breathing. And number 3, and finally, there are 2 different types of businesses. We know primary business, we know secondary business, which include new lifestyle businesses. Once more, Larry, one more. So in conclusion, don't be a sheep, we mean financially, or at least don't go out the wolves. I'm Dr. Terrence Cash.